Dumelang Molweni Absheni Sanbonani, and welcome to the Student Leadership Incubator Program Recognition Awards. My name is Vuyegazi, also known as Mihlali around campus, and I am going to be holding it down as a master of ceremony for these events. Today we are gathered here virtually to celebrate and honor all of the student leaders that form part of the SLIP program that is run under the office of the Deputy Vice-Chancellor, SDS Prof Pamela Dube. Today we are gathered here to celebrate them for taking part in this very key and essential project that aims to provide aspiring student leaders with an opportunity to engage in leadership conversations and training workshops. The program of today will be as followed. We're going to be welcomed by the UWC's Creative Arts Choir with the National Anthem, which will then be followed by a student participant who's going to be sharing their experience in SLIP, and then we'll have entertainment to keep us entertained. After that, we'll have another student participant who's going to be sharing their experience as well, which will then be followed by a performance by the UWC Creative Arts Choir. After that, we'll have an address by the DVC SDS Prof Pamela Dube, who's going to be followed by a message from the program facilitator, Mr. C. Nsevu. After that, we'll have a presentation of the topics, the guest presenters, and the discussions, which will also then be followed by a presentation of the student participants. After that, we'll have a vote of thanks by the project coordinator, Mr. A. Mfanyane. But for now, I'd like to hand it over to the choir to lead us in the national anthem.
Good morning, my name is Berenice Obendele. I am enrolled at the EMS faculty at UWC, enrolled for the MCOM program. I'm also involved in the actors with the Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation. They're running a design workshop for entrepreneurship, and it's all to empower students of UWC. I'm so excited about the Student Leadership Incubator Program because that's another program or another initiative that the university has constructed that is meant to empower students. And it's students of all ages. I mean, it's a program that is geared towards empowering the young people, but it is such an amazing program. Even I, as a mature student, learned so much from it. I really love the leaders' vision in having constructed a program of this nature, because there's so much that I've learned from it. There was topics on education, there was topics on policy, there was topics on even the funding model that UWC employs. The topic that I most enjoyed really was the one about creating a university for Africans, and not one that's structured according to how the worldview of universities that was colonized before. And the fact that that conversation happened means that UWC really wants to create something that speaks to the students that they cater for. the program was such an amazing program. Just one word, amazing, really. I loved every session that we had. I loved the interaction, the opportunities that we as students had, that we were able to converse with the speakers. And the speakers were such amazing people. I mean, they spoke from life experiences. It wasn't book knowledge. You know when someone speaks from book knowledge. But these speakers spoke from their heart. They spoke from their life experiences. They shared the things that really mattered to them. And so in terms of the topics that I mentioned earlier, education, how important education is, how important it is to equip the students of UWC. If it wasn't for this program, I think I would have been... This program equipped me and helped me to actually know more about myself. I actually learned more about myself during this program. I learned not to think about my own preconceived ideas, but to really embrace the knowledge that was shared. I learned not to allow my own judgments of how I perceived people and institutions, even educational institution like UWC, not to think about my own judgments with regards to that, but to really be open to change, open to listening to others' opinion, open to engaging with others and sharing views on what we believe is important for us as students. If it wasn't for the Office of the DVC, for the SDS, this program wouldn't have been possible. I really think that the program that they put together is one of such high caliber, such good quality content. And it really allowed an opportunity for us as students to get to know the insides, some of the insides of how our UWC as an institution is run. And I think this program is something that every UWC student should have access to, should have an opportunity to take part in. And I pray that this program is able to reach many more students. I know when I was on the call, I think there was about 200 odd or so students, but I really believe it's something for every single UWC student. And I want to just express my thanks and my gratitude to the Office of the DVC, to the SDS, to all those that that was behind the scenes to have put this program together. I think it was really such, for myself, just an amazing journey. And if I think back to where my academic journey started in 2017, when I enrolled for the management development program, and to where I am today, and to everything that I've learned in this student leadership incubator program, I can actually say that what I've learned was really the cherry on the cake of my, which is now my 5th year journey of academics at UWC. I really believe that UWC is doing so much for students in terms of allowing them to grow, to self-develop. If you consider the many initiatives that they are involved in, everything is geared towards upskilling their students, developing their students, and giving them opportunities to engage and I suppose change their perceptions and change their beliefs by listening to the opinions and the shared ideas and the shared vision, not only of the speakers, but also the student cohort that was present in this program. And so I am grateful for the opportunity that I was granted to just kind of share a few of the thoughts that I have. I'm grateful for the manner in which this program was offered in such a professional manner. But really, all of the speakers, kudos to them. All of those that worked in the background, kudos to them. I applaud the Office of the DVC and the Department of the Student Development Unit. Really, really an amazing program. Well done. And when you have a follow-up thing, or you should have a follow-up program to this, but I definitely will come back because I know that when you do another one, it will be different speakers, it will be different content, and anything and everything that has to do with this office of the DVC, I am fully behind it, 150%, 320%. I really love the program, so thank you very much for the opportunity.
I'm drifting away. Good day, my name is Mzwanele and my surname is Khani. I'm a social student at the University of the Western Cape. My expectation of the program were like any other workshop or training that speaks on leadership. I expected that the different leadership roles or principles of leadership will be discussed. But to my surprise, the program went beyond that. The program actually challenged me, made me to question things for better understanding for myself. And also some of the topics or themes that were brought to my attention were themes that I can say they made me uncomfortable because we're made to visit the past. We're visiting the past in order to inform the current times and to inform the future. And some of the themes were not so easy to grasp as they were themes that required a lot of person to engage and think about them. So I remember that we are in a academic space that is also required. Another thing that the program did for me is that I've made to develop in different spheres of myself. I was made to develop in my personal space. I was made to develop as a leader in the different leadership roles that I'm given. And I've been made to develop also within my chosen profession, because some of the themes and principles that were part of the program speak on any type of profession or career that a person has chosen. For me, I picked up a lot of principles and principles that spoke on social work. So now I can safely say, even within my chosen profession, I'll leave UWC being a different social worker compared to the type of social worker that I would be if I didn't attend this program. So there are so many things that I've come across within this program that I'm taking, but I'm sharing these because of time. I'll continue to recommend this program to any student at UWC who wants to develop within their personal life, academic life, and within their professions. I would like to thank the organizers of the program, the different speakers, and my fellow students. I'll continue to be ambassador of this program, and I'm so grateful for it. Thank you very much.
Nashindwana mali sina we, ningekuoa malaika. Nashindwana mali sina we, ningekuoa malaika. Pesa zasumbua roho yangu. Nashindwa na mali sina we, ningekuoa malaika. Nashindwa na mali sina we, ningekuoa malaika.
Kideke
Nashindwana mali sina we, ningekuoa malaika. Nashindwana mali sina we, ningekuoa malaika. Malaika, nakupenda malaika. Malaika, nakupenda malaika. Ningekuoa maliwe, ningekuoa dada. Nashindwana mali sina we, ningekuoa malaika. Nashindwana mali sina we, ningekuoa malaika. Malaika, nakupenda malaika.
Good evening to you all. It gives me great pleasure to be part of this special ceremony to celebrate student leaders who form part of the Student Leadership Incubator program, or the SLIP as it's commonly known. I'm so excited because of the enormous strength shown by the program team to set up the implementation of this very important initiative. Let me thank you for attending this auspicious occasion, which is a celebration of the hard work, natural talent, grit and determination of the SLIP class of 2021. This is a pilot online phase, and there are many lessons we have learned through this exciting journey, and these will form part of the exciting editions for 2022. The Student Leadership and Incubator program offers student leaders who aspire to form part of formal student governance an opportunity to engage in a structured leadership program. This provides a space for conversations and training workshops through which the participants are exposed to practical leadership tasks and get to interact with different guests and stakeholders on a range of topical issues. UWC's history and record of producing good quality student leaders is very well documented. This is an area of great focus, and we are fortunate to have strong social and cultural vibrancy that enhances our holistic leadership development. The world as we know it today is so different, and this requires a caliber of leaders who understand the complexity of their roles and what needs to be done differently to change things for the better. Even though it's a program that has a micro focus, I believe that the SLIP is a step in the right direction, and we will continue to build on it to make it stronger, relevant, and sustainable. This is critically important because the program encourages student leaders to deepen their democratic values and principles whilst inculcating service-driven leadership, which is about acting without looking for any undue gain. This program is also meant to strengthen the role of student leadership and deepen democratic principles while at the same time inculcating the value of servant leadership. Without any doubt, the contemporary challenges and opportunities require solution-oriented and innovative approaches. And this is where the adaptability of student leaders becomes an important leadership attribute. At an institutional level, the student voice is represented in various statutory committees. And this comes with expectations on student leaders in office and the role that they need to fulfill within the short space of time within their term of office. and they are required to hit the ground running, as it were, in the context of many decision-making processes and within governance structures. This reality is certainly what frames the program and its content in support of current student leaders as well as those aspiring to take on this important role. There were many key and influential individuals, including our alumni, who joined the program as guest presenters who took their time to engage in robust discussions with students, from policymakers at national government and institutional level, among others, to industry and business role players. This is the growth path that should allow students to learn from this and shape their leadership journey by emulating some of the best examples. I wish to take this opportunity to appreciate all the guest presenters for their selfless acts and seeing value in what we seek to achieve. Thank you to the facilitator and the project coordinator for pulling things together through an online process. We are here this evening to honor the first group of 104 online participants on the SLIP who have walked this crucial leadership journey and remained open to learning about so many different aspects and role-playing that experience to get a better sense of what happens before any decisions are taken. This evening presents a unique opportunity to recognize your work during this year and your active engagements on the program, purely online, and investing your time and energy to it is a remarkable commitment and dedication that speaks volumes about the kind of leaders that you are and the future promise. It is at universities that successful businessmen and women, prominent politicians and intellectuals in our society found their drive and direction. Some realized their innate capability to make a change, however small it appeared at that point. This should inspire positive energy and activism and to change things for the better. For you, this is the moment that should really ignite your forward-thinking mindset by pursuing knowledge as a key strategic focus. And do please continue to enrich yourselves by consulting the leadership literature, because this is where the future of countries is nurtured and the kind of graduate attributes we espouse as UWC are also shaped. You must cherish and celebrate this moment because you deserve it. You are the trailblazers for this online SLIP transition, and you will be remembered for that in the annals of this wonderful program. I would like to call on you to place your invaluable practical program experience to good use and to please share your journey with others and make sure that you enrich the program by providing feedback, which I know will serve to improve our efforts as we create more exciting journeys for other students who might be interested to join in. Let this achievement be a reminder that that SDS, together with you as students, will always strive for excellence. We will continue with our efforts in making sure that our core curricular programs are embedded in online platforms to cultivate more student engagement and involvement in line with our motto, creating your future. Congratulations again to the class of 2021 and all of the best to you. Thank you.
Fellow students, good day. It gives me great pleasure to address you today at your graduation. Well done. I want to take this opportunity to also acknowledge the Office of the DVC for Student Affairs, who have brought about this program Professor Dube and your team. A good day to you today. And to the guest presenters who may have joined us in this ceremony, I salute you as well today. Well, I have been greatly and immensely honored for being appointed to facilitate the Student Leadership Incubator program. It has indeed been an honor for me. It has been a learning curve. I thoroughly enjoyed being part of the team that brought about this program. And I want to congratulate the Office of the DVC for bringing about such a student leadership development program. UWC has traditionally been known for producing astute student leadership. That you have formalized this program in the manner in which you have places UWC a cut above the rest. We will be able to say this is the institution that will bring about complete graduates, rounded people who do not only study their academic line, but who are given leadership at an early stage. Thank you very much to the office for doing that. And to the guest presenters who have been able to sacrifice their time at no cost to us, giving to the university and to the students, we want to thank you. We have, over the period of the year, covered a number of topics that were presented by dynamic and diverse guests, topics that would enable you to be better leaders, topics that hopefully you have taken to heart. And thank you for your participation as student leaders in the program and in the presentations themselves. You have engaged quite well, and I have thoroughly learned from you. And please go out there and be ambassadors of the university. Go out there, take what you have learned and utilize it even in the industries that you would be working. It has indeed been an honor working with you. And over the next year, we will work with another cohort of students. We have learned from this program. We would be able to improve on what we have learned. Thank you very much, colleagues. I look forward to the next year, and I look forward to meeting some of you out there in the industry and working. I have also identified that there are some of you who I myself in my own companies would be able to work with. We will continue to engage. Kia leboha. Danki. Siyabonga. Abshin.
The Student Leadership Incubator Program, or SLIP as we call it, was privileged to have been associated with so many esteemed guest presenters, some of whom were student leaders in their own right, and UWC is well represented in that group. They shared their student and professional experience, and there was a touch of speaking from the heart, and they provided words of wisdom to the participants. Thank you to our academics at UWC who invested their time and engaged with students on topical issues. The presenters anchored the sessions but also allowed the students to express themselves as part of their student leadership journey. The topic Higher Education Governance was presented by Mr. Tembile Kulati, which focused on the genesis of higher education legislation and perspectives in higher education. The facilitator, Mr. Chris Swepo, presented two topics, one being student governance. This refers to the roles of the elected student leadership at various levels and their role in the governance of the institution. The second topic being policy development processes, which focuses on how policies are developed, implemented, and their impact on governance processes. In our third workshop, we invited a panel consisting of Mr. Vele Mbele, Ms. Palesa Kadi, and Ms. Fashia Hassan to discuss the genesis of student leadership. We went down memory lane where these former student leaders shared their experiences and insights. When our fourth workshop came along, we were blessed by one of our own, an expert in his own right, Professor Sakumzi Mfecane, to teach us about the importance of highlighting and engaging on gender-based violence as a serious source in society and how it affects the behavior in our local spaces. Focus was put on practical steps on how higher education can deal with gender-based violence. Professor Simpiwe Sisante discussed a topic that some people fear, which is creating an Africanist university. This is one of the contemporary topics facing higher education, and the sector is expected to offer both intellectual and practical perspectives. As we all know, we are faced with a silent killer that affects us all, which is COVID-19. The higher education sector was called upon to find innovative ways of addressing the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, especially student support efforts. We therefore invited Mr. Thabo Shingange and Professor Sakumzi Mfecane to discuss the challenges of COVID-19. The topic, Building a Stronger Organization, was presented by Mr. David Maimela, which focused on building clear processes, procedures, and policies that guide the work of an organization and its priorities. In our eighth session, we were once again joined by the former student leaders, Mr. Vele Mbele and Ms. Fashia Hassan, to discuss the topic, funding within higher education. And in this workshop, we covered the sources and the model of higher education funding and the calls for free education. We invited Mr. Irfan Dalve, who introduced the topic of higher education financial planning. Here he shed light specifically on UWC and their financial streams, how the institution budgets, and the importance of accountability. When our 10th session came along, we asked the question, the state we are in as a country, can it be fixed? This was a guest lecture presented by the former Minister of Science and Technology, Mr. Musibundi Mangena, who shared his insight and reflection in his recently published book. In our penultimate workshop, we invited Ms. Nkosazana Tengimfene to present the topic Higher Education and the Market, where she taught us about building a personal brand, self-representation, and how to constructively communicate and adopt a solution-orientated approach. In our final workshop, Mr. Nelvis Kakema provided insight on promoting crucial reflection. Here, we were encouraged to reflect on our leadership practices and engagement with integrity, thereby promoting an intellectual journey.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Akhona Mfanyana, the program coordinator, and it gives me an immense pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks to everyone that made sure the program becomes a success. I wish to pass a vote of thanks to the DVC's office for creating and organizing the program, pass a vote of thanks to the facilitator and the guest presenters for sharing their rich information. Pass a vote of thanks to the participants for taking part in the program. No program can be successful without people who dedicate their resources and time to make sure everything is faultless. We are looking forward to 2022. Applications will soon be open and will be shared via UWC Communication, UWC Online, and UWC SDS social media. Please mask up, social distance, and wash your hands regularly. Once again, mazenetole ezidwesha zakokwethu. I thank you.
Thank you to each and every single person that joined us today. A huge congratulations to all of the student leaders that received awards. From myself, Uvuyokazi, I'd like to say a very good night to everyone that is watching. Remember to stay safe and mask up.